episode 25, featuring Gauntlet. Join us as we uncover artifacts from the arcades. My name is Brad, co-hosts are Sky.
Hey.
Kyle.
Saw dudes.
And Jordan.
Hey,
That's me.
I copy Kyle sometimes, so I wanted to copy Sky this time.
I thought it was me for a second. I didn't know if I said hey twice or what.
Alright, well, it might not seem like much, but today's game there's kind of a lot to cover. So let's hop right into talking about some games. You guys got any other games you've been playing other than Gauntlet this week?
Nah, I mean, I've been still playing the First Ascendant. I definitely put the brakes on it a little bit because I went super hard and did almost all the content in the game. It just got kind of stale just because I had done everything and there was it was getting stronger just for the sake of getting stronger. This was the whole pre-season thing that I've been playing. They're coming actually doing season 1, which I think literally drops tomorrow, so the 29th. So they're gonna add 1 or 2 more new descendants and new weapons, new content. So I've been kind of chilling on it for now, but I'll be hopping back into it maybe even tonight after the pod, depending. I don't know how long the update's gonna be, but that's what I'll be doing.
Very nice. What about you, Sky? You playing anything else?
I actually just I think this morning I jumped into Castle Crashers again.
Oh, nice.
You guys remember that game?
Oh yeah,
For sure.
I randomly saw that they had an update for it, and I thought it was just an old thing. I was like, oh, that's got to be old news or something. So I checked out a post on it, and I guess they're coming out with a new DLC for Castle Crashers.
Really? After all this time?
Yeah, the game's 15 years old,
Yeah,
something
that's
like
crazy.
that. So I was like, oh man, I'll jump back into it then if there's going to be new stuff. But I guess it's pretty much you can just make your own characters now, I guess. They're implementing a drawing thing for it. So you'll just be able to draw your own characters and play as them, draw your own weapons and stuff like that.
What are you playing on Xbox, Steam?
I got it on Steam. I don't know if it's going to be an Xbox thing or not. But all I saw was just they were updating it on Steam. It's going to be DLC or whatever. They just announced it, so I don't know if it's coming out soon or a couple months from now.
Pretty sure I have it on Steam. I don't think I've played it on there, but I'm going to have to check it out. That'd be pretty fun. You can play online, right?
Yeah, I tried getting on and finding games, but it's dead right now. So.
Maybe after the update.
Yeah, I just jumped on and played solo real quick, played a couple levels to get back into it. But I'll probably at least just check that out, draw a couple things, play for a little bit.
Yeah, I might have to hop in there with you. I wonder if we can do if I can have a couple people on my screen and join in online with you. That'd be fun. I could probably bring Eli and Ezra with me. It's kind of somewhat of a simple game. It's kind of like a beat 'em up, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, it's pretty simple beat 'em up.
All right, Jordan. What about you?
So for once, I actually have a little bit of an answer for this. I feel like I never am able to hop in on this. I actually have somehow, some way found some time to play video games over the last 2 weeks or so. I don't know where that came from, but it happened. There's three games really that I've been playing for the most part. We'll start with the first one, which is the simple one, because there's really not much to say about it. And that's the new Madden. Just came out earlier this month. I mean, Madden's Madden. It is what it is. There's not really anything to say there. You get a little bit of a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth update for the first time in a while. I'll tell you, man, I do like this game, but I definitely take breaks in between because the open world aspects are a little bit too much for me to really love sometimes. But I did finally finish the entire Cosmo Canyon region, and I started exploring the Nibelheim region now for a little while. So I got, I don't know, a fourth of the way through that region so far and put it back down for a bit. It's probably in a few days or so I'll pick it back up again like I have been doing with this game.
Don't want to burn out on it?
No, not at all, dude. It's just, like I said, dude, the open world aspects are, because every region, you pretty much have the same, 20 or so little sub-mission things to do, and it's just you're just repeating the same thing way too much, and it gets exhausting. But as for the game I'm probably playing the most of, this is one I've said before, but I think I haven't said in a while. I'm sinking back into some old school RuneScape again, man.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's a game that I won't touch. Typically, it always goes the same way with this game. I would not touch RuneScape for probably 6 to 8 months, and then for a 1 month span, I'll just absolutely sink myself into it for a while whenever I have the chance. So we're in that little span right now, but pretty much just mostly just focusing on quests and whatnot that I can do right now. Like I said, many episodes back before my old account was wrongfully banned. So I pretty much had to start that new one. I've been playing on that. I finally finished the Dragon Slayer quest, which is the hardest free to play quest. So now I'm kind of just doing, I pretty much have all the free to play ones done. I'm pretty much just working on all the members quests that I can do now.
Wait,
Maybe
you can't just breeze past wrongfully banned.
He was
What
cheating.
did you do?
No, we talked about this before. So
On the pod?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Whenever
this.
last time I talked about old school RuneScape. So I just tried to get on my account one day and it said it was suspended. And I like tried to like look into it, appeal it or whatever. And they came back saying that I was botting essentially.
He was
which
botting.
I 1000%. I don't even know how to do that. I never did any of that at all. I just don't know if I don't know if I was just doing so much wood cutting endlessly for so long that they thought I was botting, or if somebody else somehow got onto my account and did it, because I know RuneScape accounts aren't super secure. But I tried to appeal it, and these bastards come back and were just like, "No, we know that you did it," and that's pretty much all that it said. They just like said, "No, we know that you did."
No man can lay that much wood. They said there's no way.
I'm gonna have to look up that email again where they responded to it, just because like the fact that they're just sort of straight up like, no, like, yeah, you did this. Like, no, I didn't, but that was it. Like, I couldn't get the account back, so I had to start over again from scratch.
Dude tried going with the little brother defense. My little brother was on my account.
Nah, dude, I don't know what they think they saw, but that was not the case, man. I did no such thing, and so I lost that account that I had since I was probably 12 years old.
Dude, we should drive to their headquarters and get justice for you.
Dude, hell yeah.
Justice for Jun.
I'll storm the JagX headquarters, man. Let's go.
I'm sorry, Jordan. That was actually me. You were swearing in chat, so I reported you.
Wow, dude. I'm about to look up this email again while we're recording. You guys, that's pretty much all I talk about for now, though, as far as gaming goes.
Call them out, get them on the pod, and make them explain themselves.
I would love to. I'm gonna look up this email while you guys go ahead and advance the podcast now.
All right, I guess I'll hop in with my game of the week. Got another one, weird one. Jordan's gonna like this one. It's called Tiny Terry's Turbo Trip. It's a great name.
Always something.
Yeah, it's another. I call it like a relaxing game. There's no real stakes. You're kind of just wandering around this world. I wouldn't say quite a 3D platformer, more like an adventure. Open world-ish, I guess more of like open town. It's just like one single area you're in. It's like kind of cartoony graphics. You just explore it and you collect junk, which is the resource, and you use that to upgrade your car. But I don't know, it's such a funny game. It was actually had me like laughing for real, like playing a video game. I can't remember the last time that's ever happened, but there's like, I don't know, the characters are like super derpy. Like their eyes are like misaligned. Like there's one in the middle of his head. There's one like down the side of his cheek. The characters are all just like funny looking and stuff.
Wait, that's not how you're supposed to look?
I mean, maybe some of us, but they're all like that in Tiny Terry's Turbo Trip. Yeah, it's just real goofy. Like most of it's like outdoors, but sometimes you'll go into like a building and like the camera view, you can't control it in the building. It's like the camera's like in the bottom corner of the room. It's just pointing up like all awkward. Just makes it like weird to walk through the building. Just like little stuff like that makes it goofy. But the best part of it is just some of the dialogue. It had me cracking up. There's this one part, this one kid's telling you about how his dad sells stolen cars. And he's like, well, and it's a good deed because since someone paid for it, it's no longer stolen. Then the next part of the game, you got to go steal cars and give it to him so he can sell them. That's like how you get money and stuff. And you can just like hop in cars. Like some of them have people in it. I just like basically stole the car while someone was still in it, and I brought it back to him. He's like, it's easier to sell stolen cars when people aren't in them. So I had to go back and find another car that didn't have anyone in it. I don't know, there's so many like little moments that it's making me laugh. It's real short. I think maybe like 2 or 3 hours, and I completed it. Didn't 100% it or anything, but that's not my thing. I don't do that. But yeah, it just came out this year. It was on like $18 or something. I think I got on sale for like 15-ish. But yeah, it's a fun, chill little game, and had a lot of fun with this one. That was pretty much the only other game I've played though.
Found the email.
All right, let's hear it.
Dude, so, I mean, it's long. I'll just read the one part where they're like, after a comprehensive review of this account, there is sufficient evidence to suggest the offense was applied correctly. There is no suggestion that the offense was applied in error, and they gave absolutely no way of proving this or anything. That's just all that it pretty much said.
So they just
thanks.
said, "Nah,
Thanks
you
for-
did it."
That's pretty much it. You sent me an email and said, "Nah, you did it." You showed me how you think that. Nah, you did it.
Bro, he said, "Wait, I didn't do this." They said, "Yeah, you did." That was the end of
That's
it.
it. End of conversation.
Pretty
You did it.
much, dude.
I just picture two dudes sitting at a desk. They look at each other like they nod, like, "Yep, he did it," and they send the email. That was the whole process.
Yeah.
Bastards, dude. We're storming the
Oh my
headquarters.
God.
Let's go.
All right, before we storm the headquarters, you guys ready to move on and talk about some Gauntlet?
Let's
We have
go.
to storm the headquarters.
Nothing else before we move on, then, boys.
Nope.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, let's get into Gauntlet. Released in the arcades in 1985, this is a top-down view game where you navigate through maze-like stages, fighting hordes of enemies. It's kind of like a primitive dungeon crawler. You're clearing levels, getting loot. Well, kind of loot. Using that term a bit loosely here.
Yeah.
You clear the level and get to the next floor. There's different items you can collect. There's power-ups, treasures, keys, which are used to unlock doors. Sometimes they're required to reach the exits. And it has 4 different characters, and they each have their own unique stats. If anyone listened to our episode 23, Zybots, descriptions probably sounded somewhat familiar, which, because we learned on that episode, Jordan told us about Zybots was originally intended to be a Gauntlet game. And
You're
after
welcome.
playing after playing both these games pretty close together, I can definitely see it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I can definitely see the resemblance.
It's just like the camera view is different, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much Gauntlet is your map on Zybots. You know what I mean? That's pretty much the whole
Yeah.
your whole field of play is just up there in the top corner, or pretty much 1/4 of the screen.
You're just walking around shooting anything you see.
Yeah, same concept, different perspective. But so as far as the OG Gauntlet, you guys got any memories of playing it prior to today? I know we've all at least heard of this game, of course. I mean, it's Gauntlet.
The original one, absolutely not. The only one I've ever played was like the one we played at your house, of course. Which one was that? The one on the GameCube?
Yeah, it might have been Dark Legacy or Legends, one or the other. One's 64, one's GameCube. I forget which is which.
Yeah, and I know I played a little bit of. Do you guys know the store around here, Gatehouse Games?
Sounds familiar.
I used to go there all the time whenever I was a teenager, and they had a Gauntlet arcade cabinet in the back room that I played a few times. But it wasn't like this. It wasn't this Gauntlet. It was like a modern one for that time. But those are the only ones I've really ever played.
Like one on with the 3D graphics.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I ever played the original one either. I might have played it on a different console.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever played this before. Like anytime someone says Gauntlet, I think what I think of is the one that we actually used to play a bunch, and that was Gauntlet Legends.
Yeah.
That's the one that like comes to my mind when someone says Gauntlet. So like this one, I don't think I've ever actually played.
Is that what you thought you were picking today whenever you picked this week's game?
I hope not.
Yeah, I think whenever everyone was like, "Oh, Gauntlet's on here," and then like everyone remembered it, I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember that too." And it's not this.
Not the right game.
No, it's not this.
It was not this, dude.
I know I've played this before, not on like an actual arcade though. I think it might have been back on the Xbox 360, like the Xbox Live Arcade. They had a bunch of games like that on there. I'm pretty sure I played it. I know I didn't get far, so it's definitely the most time I've put into it. Well, let's get into the different characters. Right when you start, there's 4 different characters you can pick from. There's a warrior, a Valkyrie, a wizard, and an elf. All the characters do have their own stats. There's actually a noticeable difference like between the gameplay in them. And there's 7 different attributes. There's movement speed, armor, hand-to-hand, shot speed, shot power, fight power, and magic power. I'm not going to go into depth with each of the stats, but general differences are the warrior's slow and strong. The Valkyrie's pretty middling, pretty balanced, but she has the best armor. The wizard's weak almost in everything except for magic, and his attack speed's decent. And the elf has the fastest movement speed and attack speed. So the game defaults player 1 to the warrior. Did any of you guys go out of your way to try any of the other characters? Or you just hit enter token, press start, and play as the warrior?
Nah, dude, I didn't want to try to mess with the settings to get it to work for the other players instead. As I've said before on past episodes, some of the games I can get to work on my actual emulator, and some of them I play directly from the website I get them from. This one was one I couldn't even get this game to work on the emulator. I did it right from the website, and I have no clue how in the world I would have set that up to do player 2 through 4. So I was just the warrior every time, which is unfortunate because he is slow as hell.
Yeah, I only played the warrior just because that's what it defaulted to. And after like getting through that playthrough, I didn't think picking a different character was going to change my mind on any of the other mechanics of the game. So yeah, the warrior was enough.
I did one playthrough as a warrior, but I just couldn't stand how slow he was. So I did go back again and try the elf out, and I like the elf a lot.
I did mess around with most of them. The elf I thought was pretty good, but he was like so weak. He was super fast. Like if you go from playing the warrior and then you use the elf, he's like super speed. You're cruising around the level. It felt real good to go from one to the other. Well, not going from the elf back to the warrior. That didn't feel great, but overall, I think I like the Valkyrie the best because she was super balanced and had the best defense. So you can kind of, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I was taking a lot of hits in this game because it's a little tough to navigate without getting hit. So her having like some of the better defense helped survive in a good bit, I thought.
I just tried to run past everybody, just blitz them with the elf, just try to find the exit.
Yeah, sometimes that works out, sometimes not so well, I thought.
I'm sure I would have preferred the Valkyrie if I had better control over it, but nah, screw it. I didn't want to mess around with it too much. I just stuck with the warrior.
Yeah, I don't think it was like, I mean, there were noticeable differences, but I don't think it was like so much that it would have impacted your gameplay a significant amount, except for the, I think it was the wizard. He was just so weak. His magic was good, but the magic is so limited that it didn't feel worth using because you're going to spend so much time trying to get the magic and you can barely ever use it, and he's just so slow, and I don't know. He was rough to play as. And as for the controls of the game, it's pretty simple. You can move in 4 directions, and you can aim in 8, so you can hit on the diagonals, but you can't move that way. You have an attack button. You can hold it to attack, but you can't move while you're attacking. And also, every character's attack is ranged, so you can just spam the whole way down the hallway, but you can only have one projectile out at once. So if you shoot like your sword out or whatever, you can't use another one until it hits something or it goes off the screen. So that got me a little bit trying to like snipe stuff out, and then something would come from a different direction. A little tricky. And then you have your magic, which is pretty limited, so you pretty much need to save that for when you really need it because you don't find much of that. And that's also the only way you can kill the one enemy, which is death. And that one, he'll take a bunch of health from it if you don't use magic on him, so that's pretty much what you want to save it for. And then you can also defeat enemies by running into them. Do you guys do that at all? I didn't really understand it. I felt like I would run into them and I would just take damage. One of the pop-ups comes up and tells you about it, though.
Yeah, it tells you to like melee combat them, but I swear I was still taking damage even though I was like trying to do that.
Yeah, it kind of felt to me like they had to be directly in front of you for you to hit them. And if they were even a little bit off to the side or diagonal, then you'd be taking damage from them. It kind of felt like the aim had to be perfect. And it's that grunt enemy that it tells you to do that for. And the only time I ever really cared to just force my way through an attack like that is whenever I was in like a narrow hallway with those grunts on like stage 2 or 3 or whatever.
Yeah, it just didn't seem like that big of a deal. Like, I don't know. It's like you might as well just shoot them anyway.
Stage 4, whatever. Yeah, it's definitely better just to shoot.
Yeah, a lot of the time I would try doing that and I would just start taking damage. It didn't seem like I was really killing them that way. So I would pretty much just, instead of holding in shoot, because you can't walk and shoot, you just keep on tapping, shoot, and walking. That way you're kind of inching forward. Because sometimes they keep on spawning and it feels like you're not making any progress. They just keep on coming out at you. As you're killing one, another one takes its place. So you can just be stuck in one spot just shooting for days.
That was really annoying. Like the respawn rates are so fast.
Yeah, but they only respawn from their little what are we calling it? The little thing that they spawn from.
They call them generators.
Generators. So yeah, they only spawn if the generator's on the screen. So kind of your best bet is to get it just barely off the screen, shoot, and then take a step forward immediately. So your attack kind of hits it right as it comes on screen before it just absolutely spams you with enemies. It kind of seems to be the best way to go about it, but it's still a pain because they really are throwing a lot of them out at you at once.
Yeah, that's pretty much main priority. If there was a HUD on the screen, you want to break that. That way they just keep infinitely spawning on you. And each enemy has their own, I don't know, I'm calling them huts. Guy called it the generator. So I'm just going to keep rolling with huts because that's what I got in my notes here. So each enemy has their own unique little hut, and it'll only spawn that specific enemy. So if there's one that there's ghosts coming out of it, and then there'll be different ones for the other enemies, like the sorcerers or goblins or whatever else there were. But yeah, there were a lot of huts on some of the stages, so it's not like you can just break one and you're good. They're all over the place. So that was pretty important to take care of those before anything else.
Absolutely.
But one good thing is whenever like you move, any enemies on the screen, like if there's a bunch of enemies on the screen, you start moving one direction, and they're no longer on the screen, they won't enter the screen that you're on. Only the ones that are still in that section will fight you. So you can kind of like kite them that way, like pull some, clear that batch, run back, and then clear up the rest of them. That way you don't get overwhelmed. Do you guys do that at all?
Oh, trust me, I did a lot of running, dude.
A lot of running?
All the running.
Especially the first couple stages, trying to like understand what was going on and like how the game worked, and like the enemies are just like when their little hut/generator is on your screen, like enemies are just rapidly spawning. This whole game, basically, in a nutshell, is like just rapidly spawning enemies from a hut, and you have to destroy their hut before they keep spawning enemies.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know about you guys. I got pretty annoyed with like the tutorial pop-ups that would happen. I felt like they were overwhelming. It was anytime there was a different enemy.
That was way overdone.
It was like every little thing it tutorialized it, and the guy would come up and read the little prompt to you. Each enemy, it would tell you like the specific amount of damage that enemy does.
Yes.
But it like freezes the gameplay and tells you every time you get hit by a new one. So that just slowed it down even more.
With the greatest 1985 computer voice you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah, boy, it's that advanced speech chips in there, baby. Woo!
It also pops up like for every character if you pick up whatever their little sort of power up is. Like every time you pick up the power up, it tells you what it does. Like, you know what I mean? This could have been like, you could be on like level 50 and you've picked up 90 of these things. If you pick up a 91st one, it's going to tell you what it does.
It doesn't want you to forget, man.
It's a bit much even the first time, but it just like keeps on happening every time. Like I know this guy's gonna hurt me. The amount isn't all that relevant. Just leave me alone and let me play the freaking game.
We got a lot of health to waste.
I guess. Well, speaking of the health, that's what the tokens do. Every time you enter a credit into the game, it gives you 700 health. So if you have unlimited money or unlimited credits like you do on an emulator, you can just keep on stacking your HP by spamming the credits and pretty much be invincible. But you lose HP every second. So it's your HP and it doubles as a timer, which is something that they actually used in Zybots as well. Something else I read about that is your score is divided by the total coins you use. So it actually prevents like some pay-to-win strategy there. Because if you could just keep on pumping in coins and be invincible, if you're actually like in an arcade trying to get a high score, that's not going to be the best way to do it because your score is going to be divided by like 50 or however many tokens you put in.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's kind of cool.
Good thing we don't care about that here.
Nah, but if there was one game that we should do it on, this probably would have been it. I feel like this is more score focused than anything on here.
Yeah, I was ignoring all the score stuff, so.
That's pretty much the only thing. The only goal in this game is just a high score because there's no end to it.
Yeah, it made it a little weird for us because we never go for score. We always go for beat the game in the least amount of credits, or I guess if the game actually ends, if you can beat it.
Yeah, this game is it just loops indefinitely, and your only goal is to see what kind of score you can get. That's it.
Yeah, for the stages, I think it's just the first 8 stages are always the same. Like no matter how many times you play it, they're going to be identical. Then after that, it starts to randomize. So depending on how far we all got, it's possible that we all played different stages. At least past the 8th stage anyway, if we made it there.
If anybody felt like putting in that kind of effort.
There's also some warps that'll let you skip stages. The only one I've seen takes you to stage 8. It's in the first level, and I think there might have been one other one that also takes you to 8, but we excluded those.
There's another one in stage 1 that I think takes you to 4.
Yeah, I think that's to the right.
Yeah, it's in the bottom right corner, and the one for stage 8's in the top right corner behind like 8,000 ghosts.
Was there any difference between the light-colored ghost and the dark-colored ghost?
The white ones take 2 hits, and then you hit them once, then they turn gray, and then once they're gray, they're one shot, I'm pretty sure.
But don't some of them just spawn like they're already gray?
Yeah, I guess they're just the bitch ghost.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. It just shows their damage. Yeah, some of the stages require you to find a key to finish it because the door is behind like 1 or 2 locked doors. Then you guys get stuck trying to find a freaking key to get through the doors.
I think I was pretty well stocked up on keys for the most part.
I don't know what level it was, but it was one that had a bunch of... It might have been... Was it level 7 or 8? Or like you walk to the left diagonally and there's little red teleporters, and you have to try to find like a key or something, I think, or you have to hit a switch to get through a door.
That's 8.
Yeah, that's when the game starts getting hard.
That's the level that got me. As soon as I got to that, I was like, "What is going on?"
There was a difficulty spike on stage 8 for sure.
Wait, stage 8, that's the one that had like all the teleporters?
Yeah.
You like keep going
And like
through
all
it?
the diagonal pathways that kind of just kept
okay.
like you could keep going right or left, and it kind of seemed like it just
It was like looping.
repeated. Like it just like, looped, kind of looped you around.
Yeah, there were definitely some wraparound stages like that where you can just go off one side. It's not like Pac-Man where you pop out the other. It just looks like it's just a never-ending hallway. You just keep on going and going, but it just keeps looping around the other side.
Yeah, it took me a minute on that map to realize it was looping. I was like, wait, why does this all look the same? Like, where am I going?
Yeah, and those teleporters you guys are talking about were super frustrating because the way it works is it says it teleports you. If there's multiple teleporters on the screen, it'll teleport you to the one that's closest. But sometimes I was trying to get to one. It seemed like it was impossible. No matter which one I went through, I couldn't get to the one I needed to progress that stage. That was so annoying.
It seemed like it wouldn't spawn you at the teleporter if the teleporter was surrounded by enemies. So you kind of had to shoot all the enemies through. So, okay, you can't shoot through walls, but you can shoot through like a corner, if that makes sense. If the wall is at like a 90-degree angle, you can shoot through the corner. I think
Right.
you pretty much have to clear the enemies out on the other side of the wall before you can teleport to that spot. Otherwise, they'll surround it. Because it seems like you don't warp directly on the teleport panel itself, you warp beside it. So if the enemies aren't gone, then you pretty much got to clear them out. Now, admittedly, I knew of I don't know if it's like much of a secret, but I knew of a way to kind of just cheese the stage. I don't know if you want to save that for later, or if you want me to just say it now, but
I think I know what you're getting at, but just go ahead, bring it up.
yeah, so I didn't even use the teleporters on stage 8. So there's a little thing in this game. It's kind of more or less to help you if you get stuck. So I just cleared out all the enemies in the row that I was in, so I was not being attacked at all. I was just completely safe. And if you stand still, just completely still for like 2 to 3 minutes, every single wall in the stage will just turn into the exit tile. So I just cleared all the enemies out in the middle so I couldn't get hurt. I couldn't be touched by anything, and just stood there and waited. And then bam, it's literally every single wall in the stage turns into the exit spot. So I just waited by a wall for that to do that.
Dude, what the heck?
What is that all about?
I
Yeah.
used that too, Jordan. You're not alone there.
You don't even have to play.
Sky, they're both disqualified.
Yeah, that's cheating, bro.
Get
You
him
do
out.
still have to find like a safe spot, because you got those lobber enemies or whatnot that can shoot you through the walls. So you do kind of still have to plan it out how you want to clear things out and wait somewhere. But I mean, obviously you still have the issue of you're still draining health as you just stand there, because you're still losing 1 health per second. But it's a scene on this stage, because as we said, stage 8 was a pretty immense difficulty spike, and it seemed like it made way more sense to just clear out what you could, just take the 150 or so health you're going to lose and just wait it out.
They just give you a free level skip every time.
Kind of, in a way. I think on most stages it's going to be pretty hard. I'll say most of the later stages, like the first few, I'm sure you could do it easy. But from stage like maybe 7, 8 and on, it's probably going to be kind of hard to find a spot where you're safe, especially with the enemies that are capable of hitting you from range over the wall. So you kind of got to find a safe spot to wait it out. You definitely still have to clear some enemies out and some of the generators out first.
I mean, some as opposed to all.
Yeah, sure,
All of them,
dude.
yeah.
Right.
That'd just be a big waste of time.
Man, that sounded dirty to
That's
me.
game breaking, dude.
Oh, I don't
mean,
like that.
It is
It's a
part of the
legitimate thing in the
so-
game. It's just for like, it's more or less for like if because I think it's also all the doors will unlock if you stand there for like 30 seconds or something. So I guess it's more or less if you get yourself stuck somewhere and you can't get a key, you kind of just have a way to hold out.
Oh, wait, did you guys find this out from playing, or you knew this already?
I looked that bitch up, dude.
Yeah, I found it in my research. But yeah, it's roughly, I think it was like 45 seconds without moving. All the locked doors will disappear. And I think it's closer to like 200 seconds. Like that's how much damage you would take as well when all the walls turn into exits. But yeah, like so if you're just standing there waiting, after 45 seconds, all the doors will unlock. So if there's like enemies near you behind doors, they'll start rushing you. So if you're not careful, even that strategy is a little risky because once the doors come down, then some of the enemies can get through to where you're trying to like stall out. And you can also kind of like soft lock yourself in this game because you can only hold so many keys and potions. And once you get like the max amount, if there's a key in your way where you're walking, you can't walk through it. So you just can't even go that direction at all unless you like go and use a potion or go and open a door or something.
Oh, then you just gotta stand still for 80 seconds.
Bro, you just gotta
Exactly.
stand a little longer. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why it's there. It kind of prevents you from getting soft lock like that.
Who needs keys?
Yeah, you
Oh,
don't,
man.
you don't think they could
I
have
didn't
just
need
made
any.
it so you could
Like
like
free keys.
replace a key with a new existing key rather than have all the walls disappear?
I mean, I'm sure that wasn't the only reason.
If it makes you feel any better, I did not advance very far past that.
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm probably at the bottom.
Yeah,
then,
I
since
didn't do
know
that.
about that little trick.
Well, I got a standard playthrough and I got my cheese strap playthrough, so we'll get all that later though.
Before we get too far past the
Yeah, same.
teleporter talk, you can teleport. You can use a teleporter. It doesn't matter if there's enemies blocking it, like all around it, and it's actually a strategy to kill death. If you get him to like follow you towards the teleporter, you take it, and he stands at the teleporter because he doesn't know where else to go, and you teleport back to it. You'll actually spawn on top of his location, and it'll kill him.
Really?
What?
Oh,
It's
really?
one shot.
Yeah, it'll kill anything that's standing there that's in the way because you have to be able to spawn
Ah.
there.
But the game said the only way to kill death is with the magic potion.
They were wrong.
So I think you're cheating,
Liars.
Kyle.
Guys, it's a
This
legitimate
game does-
strategy.
This game deserves to be cheesed as much as possible.
Well, on the stages, some of the pickups you can get, there's the magic potions, which we've talked about. It pretty much clears everything on the screen. Well, depending on your character. Sometimes some of the characters with stronger magic will kill everything on the screen, plus all the huts. Some of the weaker magic will just like damage some of them, and some of them don't even hurt the huts, depending on the character. But those are the ones you need to kill death. There's also stat potions, which, like the 7 stats I was talking about earlier, they are permanent stat upgrades. So if you get one, like if you're the warrior who's the slowest, you can get like a speed potion, and now your warrior's faster forever, which is actually pretty nice. Did you guys come across any of those?
I think I may have got one.
I think one time, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, at some point I just blacked out and was just like running through enemies.
I think I got like one shot speed upgrade for the elf. That was about it.
Yeah, I didn't get it far enough to get any more than one either, but whenever I was doing my cheese strat, I didn't get any because I wasn't exploring the map. I was just watching the clock, checking my watch. And then there's also food on the map that'll give you health. And then there's treasure, which you collect for points. And I actually found out the more points you have, apparently it makes the game harder. And there will be less food and stuff that appears on the map. So if you're not going for score and you just want to get as far as you can, you want to avoid picking up any treasure or attacking as little enemies as possible. That way you keep your score low. So there's like more food and better items on the map.
Well, thankfully, that's pretty much exactly what I did, but I had no idea
Yeah.
that was the case.
Just did it on accident.
Yeah, I didn't care for any of the points since we don't really follow that.
Dude, I picked up everything.
Oof.
You're going super ultra hard mode on us.
Yeah, dude.
It's going to have a bad time.
And then throughout the stages, there's also switches, which you can step on. And some of them, I don't know if they're different, but some were like traps kind of, where if you hit it, it brings down walls and a bunch of enemies will come in and swarm you. And then some of them, it was necessary to progress the stage. I think it was stage 8 we were talking about. I think that's the one that had a switch that was required. You had to kind of wander around. I didn't notice that there was like anything specific, I mean, like marking that it's a switch. You just kind of had to randomly walk around and step in the right spot.
Yeah, I found that switch on stage 8, but I forget. What does it do again? I completely forget.
It removes a specific wall, like a wall block on the map so you can get through. I think it goes down by the teleporter so you could actually use the teleporter correctly. If you don't hit that switch,
okay.
then you can't actually even beat the stage, I don't believe.
Unless you stand still.
Yeah, let me stand still.
Maybe that's why I couldn't use the teleporters then. I'm not sure. I mean, I know I got the switch, but I don't know if I got it before I tried the teleporters or not.
I beat that stage and I didn't know there was even a switch. I thought it was just another teleporter. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the teleporter you needed was blocked by a wall. So you had to go like to the upper left, hit a switch, then come back down to be able to hit the teleporter. And then you go back up again on the other side of the wall, which actually lets you get to the exit. There's some switches that you have to get if you want to actually get to the exit.
Maybe that was what it was for me then. Maybe I just was trying to use the teleporter before I got the switch, and maybe it's not because all the enemies are there then.
Yeah, I did the math, and it was easier just to stand still for 200 seconds instead of trying to hit that switch and go back up. Other than the switches, there's also breakable walls, which they have a little bit of a different texture on the wall. So you can kind of see it like almost looks a little bit broken, and you can shoot those, and it completely breaks the wall, so you can access different parts of the stage. Also, some of them have like items hidden behind them and stuff like that.
Well, if I learn anything from Zelda, if you see a cracked wall, you gotta bomb it.
Exactly.
What the heck? I didn't even see any cracked walls. I don't think I ever noticed that.
I don't know if they started appearing until after stage 8. I think like felt like the first 8 were just kind of like introduction to the game, teaching you what you can and can't do, showing like all the basics, and then after that they start to implement some of the more interesting stuff, I guess. I guess we can talk about some of the enemies. There's regular melee enemies. Some of them are ranged that'll actually shoot you. Some of them, I think Sky mentioned before, that lob over the walls. Might have been Jordan. Either way, they can shoot over the wall like a little ball. It seems like it tracks where you're walking. It tries to like, they line it up so wherever you're moving, it's going to hit you. There's some invisible enemies, which are super annoying. There's death, which we talked about. And there's a thief that'll actually steal your items.
I never saw the thief, but I think of the ones I did see, I think the lobber and death are the most annoying because the lobber attacks from range and he can do it through the wall. And then death, as we talked about him a bit, you pretty much need a magic potion or some teleporter fuckery to kill him.
I thought the little red demon looking guys that shoot fire out of their face, I thought those were the most annoying guys. Because that stuff was like, as soon as they're on your screen, they're just shooting it at you, and their projectiles like just as fast as yours is. And you have to like constantly be trying to like dodge up and down while trying to shoot at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those guys are my least favorite.
Yeah, it was like as soon as you came on the screen too, they were ready to launch something at you. So you had to like know they were coming, shoot, run to the other side, and keep on strafing back and forth as you're clearing them out. Yeah, I ran into the thief once. He just kind of like, he comes on the screen super fast, and he comes up to you. And of course, you get one of those stupid little pop-ups. I forget what it says, but basically he steals something from you. And I think if you kill him, he drops it.
Yeah, I ran into him twice. The first time it was when he just like, it just happened, and he was like, he stole something, go kill him and get it back. And I did it. And then the second time, he spawned like, I was kind of in like a weird like maze area, but I had most of the enemies cleared out. And so he spawned like a good distance away from me. And he runs like super fast, but like I was down a long corridor, so I just seen him coming. I killed him before he even got to me. He dropped something. I forget even what he dropped. It might have just been a score thing. I don't know. But if you kill him before he gets to you, you get something.
Probably just more points to make the game even harder for you.
Probably. I'm sure there's a strategy somewhere, like let him steal everything from you and you beat the game or something.
Yeah.
Stand still when he feels bad and he gets mad.
Yeah, I don't know.
And as we said, death, there's only supposed to be just potions to kill him, but you can use Kyle's little teleport strat to kill him as well. Or if you just stand there, he takes 200 health from you. He'll just stand there and keep draining your HP, then after he takes the 200, he disappears. And unfortunately, there's no boss battles in here. I guess death is the closest thing you have to a boss in this game. I was a little disappointed. I wish there would have been something. Maybe like a big boss. It's kind of running around. You got to strafe around, learn its pattern. Give me something. I don't know. I always need a boss fight.
No, they just want us to keep repeating the same thing over and over again through a different maze.
Yeah, it would have been fun to actually be able to fight a boss. Either, like as you said, just play a normal level with him running around chasing you. Or just give him his own, like, arena, you know what I mean? And run around and fight him in it.
Yeah, it was like an Alien Syndrome boss battle. Something like that might be cool.
That definitely would have made it more fun rather than just a million enemies every single level.
Yeah.
What did the little containers do? Like they had like 2 X's on them or something? Like the little like poison containers?
I actually don't know. It wasn't just food, like to give you health?
I don't know. Is that what it is? I mean, it doesn't. There's like food, right? It looks like a big giant ham.
Right.
But then there's the containers that have, it's like a yellow container with 2 X's on it. Is that also just a different form of food, or?
I know what you mean, but I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure they just give you 100 HP. I don't know what the difference is. I guess just different icons, but yeah, they just give you health as well, from what I noticed.
Okay, I didn't know. I definitely picked them all up, but I didn't really pay attention to what it was doing. Just looked different than the food, so I didn't know if it actually did something different.
Yeah, and you can actually shoot the food or the potions, and it destroys them. Like if you shoot a potion that's sitting there, like for the magic that you need to pick up, it'll just instantly activate it. And if you shoot the food, then your food's gone. You can't get your health. So I definitely shot a couple pieces of food on accident.
Yeah, that got me so many times, and it was so frustrating.
That sucked. There'd be like a line of enemies in front of it. You just try to spam down the hallway to kill them, and then you break all your food, break all your potions. Come on. Why can't you just let me have that?
I'm looking up the jug he was talking about. Yeah, I think it just increases your health, and I don't know, it says most forms are indestructible, but it sounds like the jug might be the only food you can destroy by shooting it, is what this website's making it kind of sound like, but I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, I think that checks out. I think you could shoot through the actual like food, but the jugs, if you shoot them, then they break.
I pretty much always shot it like off screen as I was coming on the screen, so I don't even know what I was breaking because I just kind of spam and run and shooting, and you just kind of break stuff on accident.
100%.
So nobody just had a mental breakdown and started running through enemies, just trying to get to the exits as fast as you possibly could?
Oh, 100%. A few times.
Sweet.
There was at least, I think, stage 5 and 6. You can pretty much get to the exit pretty quickly. And yeah, I didn't mess around with anything extra. I just went right from the start to the exit and just whatever was there, whatever I could shoot, I shot. Otherwise, yeah, I have no problem just bull rushing through the enemies. As you know, we just try to get as far as we can. That's pretty much
That's
our
what I
goal.
mean, dude. Like at some point, it just felt like, why? So, you know what I mean? I was just like, I'm just gonna run. Whatever I kill. Whatever hits me.
Yeah.
Just gonna find the exit.
What do you think me and Jordan were thinking when we just stood still for 200 seconds? We were just thinking, why? We can just stand here and win.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would like to formally apologize to all three of you for making you play this
you
game.
Should.
Nah,
You should.
it was a required game. We
Yes,
had to play
Brad.
this anyways.
I know it's a classic, but I feel like it's just one of those ones that, you know what I mean? Probably should have just stayed buried.
Can we play the GameCube one to make up for it someday?
I think we have to.
There's actually an arcade version, so we can actually do that for an app.
We had to do that one 4 players, though.
I mean, what's funny is that game's pretty much the exact same as this, but it just feels cooler. You know what I mean?
Something about the 3D.
It's like the same exact game, just about. At least you do get like progression in those ones though, like unlock characters and all that stuff. You have like a central hub you can walk around and choose levels. That's about the only difference.
You can level up as well, right? You can like increase your stats.
Oh yeah, you level
A
up.
little more RPG like there.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what made the difference, and just the slight RPG elements made it better.
And it was a game we always played 4 players, so that instantly makes it more fun.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're even playing that by yourself, it'd probably get a little stale too, I feel like.
Yeah, is that one Gauntlet Legends?
There's at least two 3D ones. There's Gauntlet Legends and there's Gauntlet Dark Legacy. I think Legends was the 64. I think Dark Legacy was the GameCube.
I think they're pretty similar though, aren't they?
I think there's some differences, but yeah, they're pretty similar. Well, anything about OG Gauntlet before we move on?
Nope.
I don't think, dude. I think this game's clapped.
Absolutely nothing else.
All right, let's have some fun with the numbers then. Let's talk about our credit usage. Well, as I said before, this one we are setting a 5 credit limit. We just want to see how far we can all get before getting a game over in 5 credits. So, Kyle, you want to tell us how far you made it in 5 credits?
Yeah, dude. I did one playthrough as usual. I gave this game everything I had, and yeah, made it to stage 9.
Okay.
I said stage 9.
Stage 9.
Play audience applause right there. Woo! Woo! Yeah, right, yeah!
I toughed it out as long as I could, guys.
I mean, 5 credits, that doesn't get you too far, I feel like, unless you're actually grinding the game out hard.
Doesn't get you too far unless you're standing still.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Well, I feel like I should be next in line because I also made it to stage 9.
Okay.
Let's go, dude.
That's about all I could take, boys. I'm sorry.
Well, I think I should be next in line because I also made it to stage 9.
Oh my god.
Nuh-uh, you're lying.
Oh wow.
100%. Yeah, my first playthrough was 8, and then once I learned that trick to get past 8, I got to 9, and I didn't have a whole lot of health left, but I was like, let's just see if we can do it, just get as far as we can. And I mean, I did make it. I made it maybe like halfway through stage 9, but there was just so many enemy spawn generator things everywhere, and I just got overwhelmed and couldn't quite do it, man.
Oh, well, I made it.
Yeah, that first
3/4
that first
through
time I
it,
played-
so.
Yeah, that first time I played, like I said, I got to stage 8. Stage 8 dog walked me. It's like, put a leash on me. It took me to the freaking park, dude. But then I figured out that trick, got past that, and I was like, you know what? I'm okay with this. Stage 9 is just fine to me. If I can beat 9, great. If I can't, I don't care. I'm done with it. I'm over it.
Well, that being said, I guess I should go next because I made it to stage 9.
No, you didn't.
Without using my strategy, just playing legit, I made it to stage 9. But using... Yeah, well, that's just where you make it on 5 credits, I guess. I don't know.
I thought B was going to come out and be like, oh, I made it to like level 27.
I mean, if we want to go with my cheese strat, the standing still, I would stand there for like 200 seconds, allow the stage to pop up exits, run to that exit, immediately go to the next stage, try to find a safe spot, clear out the enemies, just chill. I was at work, I was just chilling, scrolling on my phone, just letting it on my Steam Deck. I'd look over after about 200 seconds for the next exit to pop up. And
I don't know why I didn't do that anymore. I did it in stage 8. I don't know why I didn't think to do it on 9 again.
Yeah, well, using that, I made it to stage 15.
Man.
And then I did it one more time. This one definitely doesn't count. I did the same thing, but I used the speed up, like fast forward, so I didn't have to stand there for so long. I mean, same thing. I just didn't have to waste my time, but I made it to stage 18 doing it again today. So you can make it pretty far doing it that way.
Oh, man.
I just did the math, turned it into a numbers game. It's, you just divide it by 200, your health. And also, like, some of the stages I did play, like, real quick if it seemed like an easy exit, or if there were, like, a couple food sources, I'd go over, take a little bit of damage, get, like, 2 things of food, so I'd get, like, extra 200 HP, and that would gain me another stage, so I'd stand there for another 200 seconds, hop through the exit.
What even is this game at that point?
I'm sticking with we all made it to stage 9.
Dude, it's a legitimate strat.
I don't think it is. Dude.
Unfortunately,
I know it's a strat. It's not a legitimate strat.
It's in the game.
I'm just mad I forgot about it.
It was more fun. You guys would have had more fun if you did that. It was like a little mini game. I'd go through, just like clear out a little section and just chill, hop in. Every stage you have to like instantly like map it out real quick, find a spot you can go where there's no enemies, break the little huts, and then get to standing. That was the game.
Just get to standing.
That was my goal.
That's this game, man.
Standing.
It's wait around the game.
Get ready to do absolutely nothing.
So the one game that nobody tracked their score on, and we all made it to the same stage, though.
Yeah. We can have a 4-way tie, I suppose.
I think just standing around waiting is the best part of this game, honestly.
Well, since we all had so much fun with this game, let's see how good it does with our individual ratings. We're just going to go with 200. That's how much HP death takes from you before disappearing. So we will rate it out of 200. Kyle, you want to start off with this as well?
Oh, boy. Out of 200? Now, I'm just going to have to base this on solo play. I'm sure maybe it gets a little better if you have friends to play with. Maybe you can talk while you're standing still, at least. But this game,
we can do that anytime, though.
This game's getting like a 20 out of 200.
Oh, man.
This game, guys, I'm going to be honest. This game sucks.
It sucks.
It's so bad, dude.
Oh, my God.
It just felt
I'm sorry
like,
for people who grew up in the 80s and loved this back then, but it sucks now.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of angry Gauntlet fans today.
They could be angry. Like
This is just based on playing it in 2024. I mean, I'm sure it would have been great in 1985 or whatever.
Yeah, when there was literally nothing better to play. This feels like one of those just like time waster games, but it doesn't even feel good. Like, some games you're just like, they just eat time away and it's just kind of whatever, but you like enjoy it. This feels like it's just eating time away that you never get back and you're not enjoying any of the time that's being wasted. Like I don't know.
Glad.
Dude. Yeah.
I'm so glad we agreed on only 5 credits instead of 10.
You guys were like texting about that, like trying to decide on like how you wanted to play this one, and like I didn't know anything really about it. Obviously, I thought it was the other Gauntlet, so you guys were like talking about the credit usage, and like you guys settled on 5, and I was like, 5 credits? Like I mean, I feel like I'm barely gonna play the game, and I got in there and I was like, oh, we should have did 3 credits.
Because originally I said about 5, and then everyone was like, all right, whatever, pretty much. And then we came back around, and Sky and Jordan were talking, like, should we do like 15 or 20? I'm like, whoa, I already did 5, dude. I'm done. I'm not doing this again with more than 5 credits. That's plenty of time to get your feel here.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That was funny when I said that, because I wasn't sure like how long it was going to take or what the game was like. So I was like, yeah, what should we do, B? Like 10, 15? And you said you're already done, like, whatever. I was like, oh man, he really doesn't want to play this again, huh? Because I was remembering Gauntlet being, like, kind of cool for my memories. I didn't play it a whole lot, but I do remember playing it back in the day.
Right.
And then I jump back into it now. I'm like, yeah, 5 credits is definitely enough.
Plenty.
I remember you saying, like, yeah, five credits gets you about 15 minutes of gameplay. So I was like, should we do like 10 credits then? And I asked about that, and you're like, nah, I think we should do 5. All right.
You're welcome,
I mean,
guys.
I agree.
Oh, man.
The 5
Yeah,
credits,
thank you.
like, was clearly enough to get us all to stage 9, and you encounter every enemy in the game at that point. So it's like there's nothing after that. Like once you get there, you've seen it all. Now it's just like the map layout's a little different each time.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like randomized
So
now.
like, yeah, you don't like miss anything after that.
You want to give us your rating then?
I was very close to Kyle. I'm going to give it a 25.
Okay.
I also think this game's pretty garbage.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I don't know why. I swear I have it was just like Altered Beast. I had really cool memories of it back in the day when I was younger. Playing it now, I'm like, dude, I don't ever want to play this game again. This sucks. The only reason it's not hitting a 0 is because we did a solo play. So I'm sure this is probably a game where you need to have people play with you for it to not be so boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you have your buddies around, you're running around, maybe you're stealing food from each other, screwing each other over, having fun. To me, that's the only way to play the game. Like I'll never touch this game solo again in my life.
I don't even think it'd be much better with the 4 players.
Nah, it seemed like it'd be cool. Like, you got the 4 classes. They do have different stats and all that, so there is variation in the game. The enemies, they look different. They do different damage. Maybe some of them have slightly different attacks, but they really are just exactly the same thing the entire time. Like, they come out of a generator, there's 6 million of them, and you don't have enough health.
All right, Jordan, how about you?
I don't know. I guess I'll give it like a tiny bit more credit. I'll give it, not by much. I'm going to give it like a 35 out of 200. Just because it's Gauntlet.
Just for the sake of the name. Just
for
some
the
respect.
name. Just for the namesake, yeah. That's about it, though. That's all. I was going to say like a little higher, now then they were talking, and I'm like, no, I don't want to give a score much higher than them. So that's about as much as I'm willing to do.
Even just on name alone, like, I'm trying to think, for me personally, I don't like it at all. Well, barely. It might be fun with, like, you guys one time, and that's it. Even with full 4-player game, it might be fun for like 10 minutes and it's still boring. But like, just even the name recognition, I couldn't even like recommend it to anybody. It's just so boring.
Have them start with one of the later versions rather than the original.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't start with this one.
All right, well, I'm higher than everyone. Still pretty low though. I went with 67 out of 200. Yeah, like as we said, I mean, that's still not a good. It sounds good compared to you guys, but obviously that's still a terrible score overall. It was just too slow. I mean, it felt like the game wanted to force you to get to the exit because your HP is always ticking away. But it's like if you want to survive, you got to take it slow. So the game's like, hurry up, better get to the exit. And you start hurrying up, and you start taking all this damage. It's like, damn it, dude, that wasn't worth it. I should just stand here for 200 seconds and win the day. That's all you got to do. Somehow I had a little bit of fun doing that. That was more fun than just playing the game the standard way. So I locked in a 67 on this one.
It could have been so much more though. It felt like it had potential. It had all the power-ups and the 4 different classes and stuff, but it was still the same no matter what you did.
I don't know that it had much more potential because there's only so much you can do with a video game in 1985.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess looking at it now from the games we have now, I expected a lot more. But even then, like back then, I feel like I would still get bored of it.
And there's also, other than like, I think just the bonus stage, I don't think we really talked about. There's just treasure you can run around and get. You have like 20 seconds. That stage had some music, but other than that, there was like no music in the game. There were some sound effects, but it was pretty bland. No bosses either, which is a big downfall for me there.
Yeah, that's a huge negative. If they would have threw a boss fight every 5 levels, maybe I would have tried to like level 15 or something, kill a couple bosses.
I respect the game, just didn't really enjoy it.
No.
It's one of the grandfather games, but unfortunately, it's not that good on its own.
For the ratings in general, I'm rating them as I play it right now. Like, I'm not even saying, like, just for an arcade game or just for when it was released. Like, some of these games, when I give it a high score, I think it's just that good of a game. Like, just in general. I'm not saying just for when it was released or whatever. This is right now, playing it today. That's how I feel about them.
Yeah.
Mega Man was the perfect arcade. Anyways, let's move into our rankings. We got, this will be our 25th game among all the games we played for the podcast. So, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get much love here for Gauntlet Where are we gonna slot it in with the other 24 games that we've played so far?
Dude, I'm just throwing out there bottom 5 somewhere.
I wouldn't be hurt if it was dead last.
I would be hurt if it was.
Really?
I want WrestleFest dead last. Said I want WrestleFest dead last, and then Gauntlet goes in its place.
You're just doing that to be a butthead. That was more enjoyable to play than this.
Actually, I don't think it was.
You're nuts.
I would rather stand
Even
still
when Jordan-
for 200 seconds than play WrestleFest.
Jordan thinks he's got to win, and it's still a loss.
Nuts.
Oh man.
Kyle's just being that guy.
I'd put this under Escape from the Planet of the Robot Monsters.
Right above Vamp.
I think it's still better than Vamp and WrestleFest, personally.
I'd put it below Vamp, I think.
I could even do that, too. I don't even care, honestly.
Like, I'm looking at the games in, like, the bottom 5 or so, and I think the only game that I might play Gauntlet over is Escape from the Planet of Yada Yada. That's the only one where I'm like, I might play Gauntlet instead of that.
I definitely would not. I'll never play this game again in my life.
Nah.
I won't either. No way.
Well, the only exception is if we're all hanging out, we do like an arcade night. That's the only time I'll do it.
Oh, God, even then.
Even then, after about 10 minutes, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go play Smash Bros. Or something different.
Exactly.
We'll do another 5 credit limit. We'll call it a night.
Well, I guess the question is,
Too many.
is this number 24 or 25?
No one's going to put it below WrestleFest?
Under WrestleFest. The only thing
I would put it at 23 or 24.
I give it 23.
I still like it better than WrestleFest and Vamp.
Oh, man.
I think WrestleFest is better than Vamp, first of all. So I think that's a little misaligned. But other than that, I still think it's above both of them.
You think Gauntlet's above both of them?
Yes.
I would have said right below Vamp, at least.
I could do either one of those spots, so that's up to you guys.
Where's Kyle?
This should be number 24, so it should be above WrestleFest.
Below Vamp?
Yeah,
Okay.
below Vamp. But B, think about it this way. What if we locked you in a room and we said for the rest of your life you can either only play Gauntlet or you can only play Vamp?
Dude, that's easy. Gauntlet has like 999 levels. I could stand still for so long. I have unlimited credits. I'd just be standing for days. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, but we didn't say how far can you get. You would just
Get the
only
world
be standing
record.
still forever. You wouldn't be playing the game anymore.
Yeah, because I turn each level into a minigame. I play for about 15 seconds, and then I find a nice spot to stand.
Oh my god.
Vamp would just get
Oh,
so
wow.
boring after that long, for sure.
That's going to be the Gauntlet Pocket Edition.
This shows how bad this game is.
He said
It's going to come out on mobile
this dude
devices.
said
All you do is just load it up. It's one level and you stand still.
this dude said Vamp would get boring. But
Vamp
wants
would
to
get
stand still.
I want to play this game so I don't have to play this game.
He's not even playing the other game. And he said
Stand
Vamp
there.
gets boring.
I mean, to give it credit, Vamp, you do have to actually fight.
This guy's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's how boring Vamp was. It's more fun just to stand still than to play that game. So there's
This dude
that.
just-
It's better to just let the enemies kill you and end the game faster.
This dude turned Gauntlet into a stopwatch.
Oh my god.
It was just a math game at that point.
Alright, I don't care, dude. Put it down there somewhere.
What do you guys think?
Below Vamp is my vote.
Under or above
below
Vamp,
Vamp?
I guess is where we're at.
Under for me and Kyle, you're above, and Sky doesn't care.
I don't care, man. Either one. I'll never play any of
All
them.
right, we'll drop it down to 24. Sorry, Gauntlet fans. I tried to at least get you 23. I did my best.
All right,
I fought my
Vamp.
hardest.
Woo!
There's
beat
probably some
something.
hardcore players, too, that are not liking this decision.
They're probably not listening.
They're all excited for the episode and stuff like, Gauntlet, yes, my favorite game. All these guys are going to love it, man. It's going to get so high on the list. And we just trashed it. They hate us.
If you think any Gauntlet fans were still listening after we all said we made it to stage 9, you're crazy.
That's true. They already tuned out a while
They're
ago.
gone, dude.
Like we said, this is
Oh,
100%
man.
strictly based on us playing this game from 1985 in the year 2024. If we were judging it based on like, okay, put yourself in the mindset of 1985, how does it rank? Then sure, it's gonna be better than this, but
Yeah.
man, it does not age well.
Just compared to the other games we already played.
Exactly. This has to be the oldest game we've played.
It is, yeah, by at least 2 years.
So there you go.
It's crazy because it's an important game, like, you know what I mean, for everything that came
100%.
after it.
Well, like we said, if we play the newer version of it, I'm sure that one's going to rank probably pretty high, I personally think.
Definitely higher than that.
Oh, what? But yeah, I think if we did the newer one, it would be pretty fairly up there. So to any Gauntlet fans who have not tuned out, there's that. If we ever get around to that,
Now we have a pretty decent. We have 25 games in this list. To make it in like the top 10, it's actually got to be a pretty like solid game for us playing it today. So it's competition's getting a little stiff up there.
Yeah.
In order for any game we play to not be dead last, it just has to be better than Gauntlet.
better than Gauntlet.
Oh man, poor Gauntlet. All right, Jordan, let's change the mood here. Let's play some trivia.
All right. I'm sure that's gonna be way more fun than playing Gauntlet. So let's go ahead and hop into trivia.
Brutal.
Sky's leading the way with 46 points. Brad's in second with 38. Kyle is a little behind that with 33. So let's hop right on in it to question number 1. Gauntlet took inspiration from another Atari game called what? A. Jungle Hunt, B. Dandy, or C. Sword Quest?
I'm going to say Dandy.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought if I stood still long enough, the question would answer itself.
Oh my god. Kyle gets extra points for that answer.
Yeah, he should.
All right, I'm gonna go with C. Sword Quest.
Okay.
And Dandy.
The correct answer, yes, is B. Dandy. Did you know that one, Brad? You sounded pretty confident.
Yes, I did. That's why I was trying to wait, but Kyle was just trying to get to the next level, so we had a bit of a delay there.
Sky, did you know that one? Or did you guess?
I thought I saw that game somewhere, the name of it, but I know Sword Quest was like a completely different style, like puzzle game, so I knew it wasn't.
Yeah.
That.
So I guess this question's mostly for Kyle. Do you kind of so Dandy, yes, it's very, very similar to this game. So just based on the name of the game, can you kind of guess where that name Dandy came from?
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
That's a
probably
tough question to ask.
Brad,
I know what you're getting
I'm sure.
at.
Yeah. Sky, do you know where the name Dandy came from?
D&D.
Exactly. It sounds like D&D, Dungeons
Does
and
it?
Dragons. That's kind of just the idea of it.
It makes sense when you know, but when you're asking, it's kind of hard to follow.
I know. I just wanted to throw it out there to
Yeah.
see if we had any chance, but
I
That's
know
not
now, and it
important.
still kind of seems like a stretch. Like that seems like a really bad joke, right? When someone's like Dandy, and they're like, huh?
100%.
You're just looking
It's a
at them
terrible
like-
joke. It's a terrible joke. But anyway, we're gonna move on to question number 2. The warrior character, the one we've of course played the most of, the warrior character Thor was originally named what before release? A. Hulk, B. Beast, or C. Colossus? Which
Oh, man.
Marvel character was he named before release?
I'll go with B, Beast.
I'm just going to say Colossus.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Hulk.
Correct answer is A. Hulk.
Nice.
And actually, I also want to point out, I did not notice until just now that I matched those up. I did a B was Beast and C was Colossus. I didn't notice that until just now that I matched those.
You should have had A as Andy.
Oh, Andy, he's back again. Oh, no.
Oh wait, guys, Andy, you get it? It almost sounds like D&D.
Dandy Andy. It's just and Dragons.
Yeah.
I quit this podcast. Anyway.
Wait, we can quit?
You're not being held hostage. I don't know if you knew that or not. The shackles are free, my man.
We might have contracts. We'll talk about that later.
All right, we'll talk about that after we answer question number 3, which is after acquiring the rights to Gauntlet, Warner Brothers would reboot the franchise in September of what year? A. 2014, B. 2016, or C. 2018?
I want to say that's 2016.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking as well. I was thinking 14 or 16, but I'll go 2016.
All right.
I have no idea, so I'm gonna copy them.
There we go.
You shouldn't have done it because the correct answer is A. 2014.
Oh, set them both up.
Set him up just to knock him down. Well, that brings us to Sky with 47 points, Brad with 39, Kyle with 34. You all got one correct today. That's it for trivia for the week.
Alrighty. It's been fun, but hopefully we all have a little more fun with the with our next game, which is going to be Biomechanical Toy. You can follow us on social media pretty much everywhere at Arcadiology. If you want to send us questions or comments, we might read some on the show here at arcadiologyquestions@gmail.com. There's also a Google form in the description you can click on. Simple, easy, free to use. Just click on it, send us something. We might read it here. And that's pretty much it, guys. Let's get out of here.
Later, dudes.
Arcadiology needs better game badly.
Goodbye forever, Gauntlet.
That's a wrap, boys.